Hey everyone, did you have fun there? That was a good, interesting game. Sharks are back. Whoa, yeah, awesome. So, for those of you who don't know or you're new here, this is Teal Town After Dark. We are live after every single game, and tonight's gonna probably be a little bit of a therapy session here. We're gonna have to talk about all the bad things while keeping it in perspective. It's only two games, but some pretty brutal games to start. So if you like what we do here, hit that little subscribe button. It's somewhere down there. And if you want to get notified, because YouTube doesn't always tell you when we're on the air, hit the little bell as well. If you really like us, you can check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, and all that other wonderful stuff. You can interact with us on Twitter as well. You can tweet at me. I'm at ChrisJWS. My co-host here is RB Little Ackhander 76, and AJ will be on as well. So you can tweet at us. You can also follow Tealtown USA on Twitter as well. Use the hashtag and the chat. And yeah, I'm very excited to get into this one. Oh boy, we got some drums to bang tonight. We got the PDB drum. We got the power play drum. Just yeah, it's gonna be fun. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope to provide a little therapy here, make you feel better, or at least let you get it out, get the anger out. So give us all your anger now. We need it. It'll power us. Rocket, how's it going tonight? How are you feeling all the way over there in Nashville after that?
Well, let me put it this way. I'm generally not somebody who enjoys a beverage any later on a work night than necessary, and this damn team has driven me to drink, and it's only the second game of the season. So, um, I figure that I'm gonna need a sponsor in AA sometime around March or April if the team keeps going the way it is.
Or we could just have Chum sponsor this. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Tilltown USA Therapy. It's brought to you by Chum.
Yeah.
And see, AJ's getting ready to join us here. We'll go do him in a minute, but I think I need to beat the same drum I've been beating on Twitter because there's a handful of things that have been bothering me for sure. And I think the thing that bothered me the most was the two most effective forwards, in my opinion, and the numbers back this up as well, were Timo Meyer and Donskoy. Those were the only two that seemed to be doing anything at all in front of Jones. And they ended up with, I believe, the second least and third least ice time, and only because Carlson didn't play much in the third at all. I think he actually was going for third. I forget, but those are the only guys doing anything, and they got so little ice time. And this is the bad side of Peter DeBoer, as been mentioned many times over the years. Peter DeBoer has one final run with the veterans where he could rely on them in his first year, and now as they transition to a younger team, he's got to learn how to play these young guys because it seems like he is just unwilling. When you look at the ice time, he's unwilling to play the young guys.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. It feels like all right. So this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is going to be a little weird because it just doesn't. It sounds like one of those really emotional things, but it's not. So as we all know, Brent Burns is one of the more dynamic personalities on the team. Usually, when he gives pregame interviews, he's vibrant, upbeat, and enthusiastic. I mean, generally, that's how he rolls. It wasn't until the very end of the Cup run in 2016 that he sounded tired in an interview. Like he really just was like, we're going to go out there and got to find some gears. Okay. So that was like at the end of that season. The pregame interview he gave on the ice tonight was on par with that interview. So I knew he wasn't going to have a good night. I knew something was up. So I know there's a lot of stuff that they don't talk about, but I have a feeling that the team is suffering a little bit more than they're talking about right now. Not that it's an excuse. It's never an excuse, but that's kind of my gut feeling.
And Chester correctly pointed in the chat, which I already said once, is it's only two games, so we can't overreact too much. But
We can.
In these two games, oh yeah, I know. I'm not saying we're not capable of it.
Okay.
I'm saying should we? I think there is cause for concern, and who knows? Maybe they suddenly turn it around and everything's all good 10 games from now. Like, what were we thinking, even doubting any of this? But we're seeing a lot of stuff we saw last year. We're seeing the age of this team. We're seeing PDB's unwillingness to play the young guys. We're seeing Vlasic on the power play. I mean, and yeah, the power play drum. AJ will be around shortly to beat that one because that's a whole thing to itself. I was kind of charting what a lot of the power play was doing early, and I think they said the first 4 power plays had 1 shot actually get on goal. There were no second chances. And that was really the story of all night. Was anytime they got a little bit of good zone time, there was rarely a second chance. And when there was, it was usually Meyer and Donskoy doing it. And they got promptly rewarded with less minutes as the game went on. So
God, they were doing such good. They were really honestly the only line out there that you felt any spark from. Any spark. And I agree with you that it seems counterintuitive that they were the ones that were benched. And if Pete is trying to make them run a system that they're not running, I think maybe Pete's got a bad idea.
Well, in 12 minutes, Timo Meyer had 5 shots that actually got on goal. He led the team. The only guy with more than 2 besides him was Brent Burns, who gets a lot of shots on goal, and a lot of them were late too. Yeah. So really, I mean, Meyer was one of the few people actually doing anything out there, and he only got more minutes in the third because Carlson wasn't playing. Realistically, he was on pace to be, one of the lowest minutes guys on the team, and still is. Donskoy, same thing. Donskoy got 2 shots on goal. Donskoy made some impactful plays. He drew a penalty. He also committed one too, but I mean, that was already when the game was pretty far out of hand. I don't know. It was very frustrating to watch that the guys that was like, there's a couple guys here that actually look like their heads are in it and they can make some impact and they can do something good. And those were the guys that were getting the least amount of ice time all night long. Dr. Jackal in the chat, Peter DeBoer is a bad coach, guys. I would say yes and no in the sense that I'm beginning to think he's not the right coach for this team as it is now.
Well,
I think he was a good coach maybe when this was a veteran team that was making that one last run, but this isn't that team anymore. This team needs a transition.
Well, who was it that said that we only get one good year with Pete DeBoer?
I believe that would have been good old Gen X there.
Is it Gen X? Yeah, gosh darn it.
Most likely it was Gen X, and he was right. I mean, a lot of people did talk about Peter DeBoer earlier, and I think they're right. And early on, I think he did make sense for a veteran team, but I'm really wondering if we're getting closer to a time when it might make sense. I'm not clanging the fire Peter DeBoer drum just yet, but I think he needs to rethink how he does things, or he will get fired. I'm not saying I'm calling for his firing. I'm saying it will happen. He's not going to last here another 18 months, I think, if he doesn't change what he's doing.
So let's go forward and let me ask you a question. Who do you think would be a good replacement for Pete DeBoer with these young kids in the transitioning team?
That's a good question. Honestly,
that's something we're going to cover on the Pucknologists.
Yeah, that would be something I would need to actually look at who's out there and what our options might be before I know. But there might be an interim coach in house or what. I mean, really at this point, I think this team might need that shakeup. I'm not, I'm not calling for his firing yet. I'm saying he's got to change. He can't keep doing what he's been doing because we saw it all last year. Had a lot of problems. The power play, especially. Which, speaking of which, AJ, you want me to just let you perform a little drum solo here and let you talk some power play here?
No, because why? I mean, really, why?
Are you like a hockey nihilist now?
No, but it's just
at least it's an ethos.
It's just a case of, I mean, what are you going to do? It's so funny because during the preseason, we had seen some difference in the power play. Like it looked like pretty decent. Opening night, they scored 2 power play goals. They obviously, every time they gave up a penalty, or every time they took a penalty, they were scored on. But they had that. But there was a couple times tonight the power play unit, they took the ice and they couldn't get a shot on goal. Both units took the ice, could not get a shot on goal. I'm joining a little late, so I don't know how much you guys covered. But, one of the things that just drove me batshit crazy was the fact that, Burns goes for this kind of lackadaisical flip over, trying to spring a guy from center ice and ends up going the other way and in the Sharks net to make it 2-1 going into the first intermission. And right there, you just kind of go, what the hell was he thinking? And Burns, to his credit, I saw, I mean, he literally skated in front of me after that whole goal happened, and he was telling Hansen, yeah, my bad. And okay, great, you're bad. Now get out there and do something about it. And the Sharks look disinterested in this game from the start for the most part. So I'm
not going to call them disinterested, but I think like they were not in sync at all. Like there was a lot of miscues that led to a lot of those different issues. And I mean, if we're talking some specific players here, I mean, last year we already saw Father Time getting after Paul Martin a bit. I know Ian was dumping on him a lot last year, and I would say rightly so, maybe a little harsh. First game, he looked old. This game, he also looked old. And I think actually to Peter DeBoer's credit, I believe he played either the lowest or dang near the lowest ice time among all defensemen, which is correct. He needs, as much as I don't really love Brendan Dillon with Burns, that's better than Paul Martin playing those kinds of minutes, because right now he's not. You can see he's on the last couple, his last leg here, I think, and I don't think it's too early to say that because we already saw a lot of it last year. And that Kopitar goal, he just gave him, he gave him a football field to work with there. Yeah. He was like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother getting up on you.
He was like, I'm just gonna stand in between the circles and try to chip it out.
Well, and see, I go back to my drum. It's just funny. The Sharks go 0 for 4, could have made it a little bit of a difference, but the penalty kill, which was an absolute shit show on Wednesday, holds the Kings 0-6. Yeah. Definitely. And a couple of those penalties I thought were a little ticky-tacky, but you're going to see that you're going to see it in every game. That's just what happens. It's part of hockey. But I don't know. I just felt, you're right, Chris. It's not disinterested. It's just a lack of being in sync. And we've already seen on game 1 last Wednesday to open the season, we saw DeBoer open the line blender by the second period. And even tonight, we saw Donskoy get demoted, pushed down to the third line. I'm kind of with you there on DeBoer, is that, and this is credit to Gen X. I mean, the dude called it. He says DeBoer's first season is going to be his best, and after that, he's not going to know what to do. And Rocket makes a great point when you make that kind of proclamation of this team needs a new coach. Okay, great thing to say. Who is it going to be?
Yeah, and it's a fair question. I mean, honestly, I haven't given it that much thought yet. It's more, and I said, I'm not even calling for it's time to fire Peter DeBoer. I'm saying more, I have tremendous doubt about his future here if he can't change something, because his future should be absolutely in question. Right?
As far as I know, Daryl Sutter's unemployed, right?
Oh, maybe we can get him back on Valentine's Day.
Puck guy in the chat saying the Sharks are Backstreet Boys tonight because they weren't in sync. Boo! I should ban you from. I should give you the slushy ban hammer. Yeah, for that one.
That's so dad. I love that. That's amazing. Yeah.
Let's be honest. If he had said that on the show, one of us would have muted him.
Yeah, he would have gotten muted. I feel like I should just put him on timeout for that remark alone. So going through some other things here, because I mean, there's a lot of, not trying to be all negative here, but there's a lot to unpack. So I want to both dump on Jones a bit here and give him some credit, because I think I disagree with you, AJ. I thought the penalty kill was atrocious, and Jones saved their bacon so many times when the Kings should have scored, because they were allowing those cross ice passes. Like, there were no sticks in lanes. There were, the Kings were slicing and dicing them. They had all kinds of possession on the power play. The Sharks were lucky to go 0-4 on the PK. I was kind of amazed they were.
No,
they were bad.
I wasn't like trying to give too much credit to them. No. I definitely give a lot of that to Jones. But you put up the numbers do speak a little bit. They obviously they don't tell the whole story. But just the fact that it's like game 2 and Jones is already yanked, it just kind of says, hey, guys, where the hell are we at right now? Like maybe, maybe we need to see some of the young – hey, Kuda won tonight. Maybe we need to see some young guys starting to get – maybe we need to sit Ward Hell, maybe we need to.
We will get to Joel Ward. We will get there.
But I
going
mean,
to get there. But let's stay on Jones for a minute here.
Okay, Jones. But I'm saying, like maybe I think it's a little earlier than a lot of us had said. But maybe we need to see Heed instead of Paul Martin for a game. Maybe we need to. I hate to say it, but maybe we need to see Thornton sit for a game or something, or at the very least have Thornton's minutes limited, because to me Thornton was invisible this game. But we will get back to Martin Jones. Go ahead, Chris.
So on Martin Jones we have a lot of bad to cover here. I want to give him some credit because I don't think it's it's going to be a lot of narratives, I'm sure, talking about Jones is the problem in this game. Honestly, his bad was horrible, but the other side from a couple plays, he actually was really good tonight. But his bad plays were bad. Like they weren't kind of bad; they were really bad. That goal he let in, that was weak sauce. Never should go in. And then flubbing.
You talking about Dustin? You talking Dustin Brown's?
Yeah, Dustin Brown's goal. Yeah. And then he flubbed that thing and set up Carlson for that nice one-timer into our own net.
There was another almost goal later in the game. I wish I could remember who took the shot. I don't know if it was Toffoli, but there was a King who took a shot and literally was aiming for the exact spot that Dustin Brown scored on. Yeah, and missed it by by a scotch.
Yeah, there were a few posts in there, and a lot of them were on just plays where the defense gave Jones no help, and I don't blame him as much for that. Skylar Greenberg out in the chat, you guys think Dell will start next game? I'm gonna say no, but only because if it was like 2 days from now, I would say better chance. But I think
the fact that there's 5 days in between, I agree with you. I'd say no.
And I think Jones can bounce back. I have pretty good confidence he can bounce back. Like I don't think he's been anywhere. He's not as bad as those some really bad plays he's had. He needs give him some time to sit and think about it.
Yeah, I mean, and the Sharks, when they start their road trip after these 5 at home, they play Friday, Saturday, Monday. So I think you can pretty much guarantee Dell's going to get a start in there, probably against the Islanders. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see him sooner than later, especially if Jones has another rough outing. Honestly, if Game 3 Jones has a rough outing, I would say very good chance the next game we see Dell. Because right now, I don't know. Jones was fighting the puck in the first game, and I thought he was actually overall had a better game this game. Like I said, it was just his couple of bad plays were really bad. They were not, they weren't just kind of bad. They were on the extreme end of that. But he looked a lot more confident and made a lot more great saves, which I guess is encouraging. You can't make those bad plays there. That's the problem.
Absolutely. And can we talk about Burns for a second? I mean, the only guy on the team to go -4, and the top line, Pavelski, Thornton, and LeBanc go -3, but Burns leading the team in ice time by a huge margin. I mean, 27-30 tonight. The next closest guy was who here? Vlasic with 22-25. So Burns beating him by 5 minutes, but Burns having a -4. And I'm telling you, it started with that half-ass pass in like the last minute and a half of the first period, where everybody that was seated around me was just kind of going, what the hell did he just do?
Hey, I got to tell you, I said the same thing, and I was sitting on a couch in Nashville, Tennessee. So it wasn't just the tank that actually saw that. And like I said, I think it started earlier than that because his pregame interview was really sullen and he sounded nearly out of breath. So I don't think he's feeling real good right now.
Well, he was certainly banging on the glass enough during warm-ups, I'll tell you that.
Christine in the chat just asking, do elite goalies go through slumps? Yes, they do. And Skylar correctly points out, I don't think we can call Jones elite at this point. because he's been very good at times. Hasn't had that kind of consistency yet where I would say he's elite. I think he's above average right now because he posted pretty pedestrian numbers overall last season. And I mean, part of it's the team in front of him too. Like, but he can't make these really bad mistakes. Like, good goalies don't do that.
Look at the years that Brodeur won a Stanley Cup. Look at the years that Patrick Waugh won a Stanley Cup. There were games that they just sucked. Everybody has an off day. So, it's going to happen from time to time. It's that, are you on when it matters most? And game 2 maybe doesn't matter the most. It's, let's see what Jones looks like come April when the games start to really mean a lot more. But yeah, I mean, the guys were hanging him out to dry a little bit tonight, but there was a couple times where, he was like, there was one particular one where he was way out of his crease. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
I think he lost his footing and just sort of slid out. It's like what happened.
Is that what it was?
It looked like it, yeah. It looked like he just didn't get a grip on the ice and he just went.
Because I'm like, dude, if you're going to come that far out, man, you better have control.
No.
Gen X saying Gretzky wasn't Gretzky overnight. Well, I don't think we're going to compare him to Gretzky.
Well, hey, look.
I think everyone knows you weren't necessarily saying Jones is elite, but I think it's probably worth pointing out. The one thing Jones has proven, he can string together a large amount of quality starts, which is what you need from a goalie if you want to go in a deep run. You need them to have that in April and May and June. Sorry, Rocket, go ahead.
Just to lighten the mood and break it up slightly, but still keep it somewhat Sharks related. Speaking of goalies that won the cup, let's not forget about Antti Niemi.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Anything is
no. The guy had one good series. It happened to come against the Sharks.
Let me finish. Thank you. So then he comes to the Sharks, and he kind of is, he's either really good or he's really terrible. Most times he's really terrible, and he lets in beach balls. But other nights, he stands on his head, and he renews your faith in it. He's like a bad boyfriend. He just strings you along. And what I noticed about Nemo's tenure in San Jose is that he always, without fail, would show up for the games against Chicago. Always, without fail. And this year, against Chicago, while playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins, he was pulled after 9 minutes and 16 seconds.
Oh, that game was brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I was watching for that.
Nemo lets in 4 goals on 13 shots, and Murray says, "Hold my beer."
Oh, man, the Penguins, yeah. We'll have to talk about what's going on around the league.
Can somebody throw
former Sharks related news? That's all I was throwing out there.
We'll get to that too, though, because there's been fun stuff.
Can somebody throw the banhammer on Chivo for trying to start the hashtag Bring Back Niemi?
Yeah, I think you deserve a 5-minute timeout for even typing that out. You get a 5-minute timeout.
Yes, the Golden Knights are using the Sharks goal horn.
Yeah.
But it goes around. Everybody, not everybody has an individual goal song. Not everybody has an individual horn. Everybody, how many teams up until 5, 6, 7 years ago, how many NHL teams, hell, how many just sports teams in general used Rock and Roll Part 2 as, a scoring song?
All of them.
Yeah, just about.
So, as we pick this carcass and we finish up here, I know there's a few more things we probably should hit on. One is Thornton with 18 minutes of ice time. I mean, I know, you were saying, just because it's play quality, but even if he was playing well, that seems excessive. And this comes back to the whole Peter DeBoer likes to lean on his veterans. You play Thornton like that, he's going to be lucky to make 82 games because let the old man get a break. I mean, I see, 4 minutes of that is power play, but still, that's a lot of ice time for any forward, let alone one as old as Thornton is.
Yeah. With a bionic knee, nonetheless.
Yeah, with his surgically reconstructed knee.
And Donskoy only getting 10 minutes. How did he end up in DeBoer's doghouse tonight?
Yeah, and that's one of the drum does beating on a lot before you even got in here. Is Donskoy to me, The two guys that stood out to me all night making a lot of positive plays were Donskoy and Meyer. And if Carlson wasn't out for the third, those two would have ended up with the least amount of ice time of any forward, which is just insane to me. And I'm repeating myself here, but what the hell, DeVore?
Yeah, completely agree.
That's right, anything else we want to pick off this carcass? Chat, let us know if there's anything else we should touch on, because I'm just about ready to close this one into the archives. Because
wow, that was quick. This is going to be a quick show tonight.
Well, no, I don't mean the whole show. I just mean this game, because this is just a steaming pile right here, and we can only dissect the turds so many different ways.
Yeah, and then you just want to bag it up and tie a knot in it and throw it in someone's trash can as soon as possible.
Just don't leave it on the lawn.
Nope, please don't.
I don't know. It's just
not courteous.
It's just that idea of like Dustin Brown not only getting the opening goal but also getting an assist. It's just kind of like really just starting off the game with a fart in an elevator, where it's just like, oh, it smells already and you're not even sure why. But
yeah, so Brandy Johansson on Twitter, Lunar Noodle, tweeted at me just saying, they're 5-0 in front of Jones. He saved it from being worse. And I largely agree. Like I said, I'm not going to bag on Jones. I mean, he needs to make better plays than some of those, but he did a lot of things correctly tonight. And I don't think he's the reason why we lost. The Sharks lost because the forwards were completely ineffective. There were so few second chances. There was so little zone time. I mean, the Kings were living in the Shark zone, and all the numbers. I don't have to go through all the fancy stats to tell you the Kings lived in the Shark zone. The Kings dominated scoring chances. The Kings dominated the puck. The Kings
dominated neweutral zone. The Kings dominated possession.
Yes. The Sharks are bad, and they should feel bad. No. We're not gonna completely condemn this team, but that was ugly. Like, there's just, you can't sugarcoat that. There is very little positive in there. I mean, there are some good things here and there, but really, this was a very, very bad game. Dude, and it could have been worse. Like, the score isn't even as bad as the game was.
No. Dude, I mean, I had seats on the glass tonight, as you know, down where the Sharks attack once.
Celebrity Sharks fan.
Celebrity Sharks fan. Hashtag. And the whole thing is during the second period, the entire time we're like, can we play down here for a little while? I mean, it felt like, it's like we're in the area, we're close to where the Sharks only attacked during the second. And it felt like we watched 18 minutes of that period on the Jumbotron, because so much of it was played at the other end where we couldn't see.
Absolutely. And on a similar subject to that, so Dr. Jackal, our good friend Gen X, wants us to pick at the carcass of attendance. AJ, I'll defer to you on this one. What was attendance like? Because everything I've heard was not very good.
No. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, people, but and maybe this has something I'm not saying this has anything to do with it, but this is one of the very few Sharks games that I've ever been to where they did not, during the third period, announce the amount of tickets for the game. They announced a sellout versus Philadelphia on Wednesday, and I was at that game, and I took a couple photos of literally a few empty rows in the lower bowl. And again, we go back, I want to preface this by saying that there's a difference between number of tickets sold versus number of tickets actually scanned or used. So that, the Sharks may in fact sold those tickets, but for some reason they weren't used for the opening night. It was a group of us. We bought 16 tickets. Two of the guys who paid for their tickets ended up, like, stuff happens and they couldn't show up. So those were two empty seats. And even though they were paid, they weren't able to use the tickets. Tonight was not great. It actually felt emptier than opening night. I was sitting against the glass. Yes, Chivo, I'm going to brag about it. So, but
Celebrity Sharks fan.
Celebrity Sharks fan. But sitting against the glass.
I would have been on the ice if I were there, and I'm not a Steelers.
But we were sitting on the glass in 128, and in the row that we were in, there were 6 seats. There was me and my buddy. The 4 seats that were next to us were unused the entire time. There were 6 seats behind us. There were 2 people in those seats, and the other 4 were empty. And then the entire row behind them was empty. And I even sent you guys a pic. The entire second row in the section next to us was empty for almost the entire game. And this is something that I talked about in one of my articles on Teal Town USA is I was worried about the new lounge. Don't get me wrong. The BMW lounge, holy crap, beautiful. If you can afford it or if somebody gives you free tickets to go to it, take advantage because it's awesome. And
This
that's
brought to
the
you by
thing,
BMW.
right? But the thing is, it's so awesome that you maybe don't want to go down to your seat. You want to, because there are literally flat panels everywhere that you can just like chill out in these very plush seats, have some great food, some great drink, and watch the game on the TV, you know? So there's that. But aside from that, looking up and around in the bowl, you know, I'd say that maybe, I don't know, probably close to 2,000 seats, somewhere in that neighborhood. 1,500 to 2,000 seats were empty tonight, and that's sad on a Saturday versus LA, which is usually a huge draw. And the tank, even the fans, really didn't get into like chanting until like early in the second period. You know,
the Sharks didn't give them a lot to chant on it.
They didn't, but you would think after Bodker tied it up, like they would start to get into it a little bit, and everybody kind of like it was almost like they were pissed off. They're like, really, Bodker had to be the one that scored that? Like they almost seemed upset about it, you know? Like, why couldn't it have been Pavelski or somebody?
It's a fake goal,
right?
Yeah, it's fake news. So I guess in the little bit of good news we have tonight, the Cuda one up in Stockton, friend of the show, Zach the Bear, was up there covering. If you aren't following him on Twitter, you really should be. He covers all their stuff. He does stuff for the Athletic as well. So he's the guy. If you want to know about Sharks prospects, their pipeline, good guy to follow. That's ZAKK the Bear. I mean, I'm not going to read all his tweets off here, but they on an empty netter to make it 6-4, they won over the Heat. So I guess that's something good. Little good news tonight.
I don't know. I'm going to be interested very much so to see the way that attendance happens for the next 3 games, because we got Buffalo, the Islanders, and the Canadiens. The Sabres and the Islanders, not massive draws in the Bay Area. The Canadiens, a little bit, not as much as the Leafs, but you will get a little bit of draw from the Canadiens. But then again, the Canadiens is a Tuesday night game. So it could be interesting to see how the way the optics play out over the next 3 games.
Oh, I wish I were in town. I would get nosebleeds for all of these.
And then stub up your way down to the row right behind the players' bench.
I'm just doing my best to make it look more full on camera.
Yeah, you're a team player there. You're taking one for the team. So I guess something I've been thinking about looking at the schedule here is I know they want to get the cross country trips out of the way early, but it seems like, and it might just make sense in October to take the hit because those are going to be more lightly attended games, most likely, especially by Sharks fans, because not many people are getting up big about hockey other than us and a few other diehards in October, November. So maybe it's get through those and hopefully come March and April when they have, more Kings games, more Oilers games, people are getting interested and excited and actually come out to the game. But yeah, I'm still kind of amazed no one got up for the Kings game, because I mean, it's the Kings. If there's a team that usually excites Sharks fans, it's the Kings.
Was there a Warriors game tonight?
No, Warriors haven't started their season yet.
Oh, well, that's really strange then.
That's what I'm saying. And it should not go unnoted that I knew I was coming on with Rocket tonight. So, of course, in honor of Rock, quarter zip.
Nice.
Just saying.
Is that like the new turtleneck? Quarter zip.
I approve.
Quarter zip, yes. Quarter zip. Lacey is the turtleneck. I am the quarter zip.
Yeah, he is AJ, the quarter zip strong.
We are all AJ. No, that doesn't flow quite the same.
We all bang AJ strong.
Yes. nothing to compete with the Sharks tonight, or per our good friend Gen X. No local baseball. I mean, yeah, because local baseball ended already because they suck. Should I mention football for Gen X's sake?
Foosball's for the devil.
Foosball. Yeah. There's college football and baseball playoffs. Yeah, but still, it's. I don't know. It just I have a hard time thinking that. Can
I at least get a little?
I would say it's very troubling that on a Saturday night you can't get people up for the Kings. I'm just saying that's not a good sign.
Well, absolutely, and I was near the entrance at the end of the second period, and people were leaving en masse. I mean, they were like, "Oh, it was time to get an early start on the night." They were headed out. It felt like into the third period, it felt like there were maybe 10,000 people in there.
Wow.
And with that, Skylar Greenberg asking, can we talk about the rest of the NHL? And actually, yeah, I was just about to go there because I guess some people. Or sorry, you had something else?
Well, I was just gonna say, at the very least, just to talk about something that's like completely like vain and stuff, because I know that it does bother Laurel a little bit. Is it more balanced now? Is Laurel like? I mean, I understand that this over here like affects her OCD because it's a different color wall, but at least like the frames, do I have like a little balance now instead of just like this one, frame thing versus nothing over here anymore? And this down here is coming eventually. I will hang that. I'm still deciding what I'm going to do, but at least Laurel, I'm just here for you.
This screen test brought to you by AJ Strong.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, so let's see what's going on around the league here, because there's at least some interesting stuff to talk about. So the Golden Knights, who have yet to make their home debut, are undefeated. Get on that Golden Knight train soon. I don't know. Golden Knight train actually flows off the tongue well.
I like that. The game against the Stars was nasty. I like this team.
Yeah, and then Toronto lights up the scoreboard against the Rangers.
Dude, that was a smackdown.
Yeah, like Toronto looking pretty exciting. That's 15 goals in 2 games.
Dude, Toronto looking fantastic.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I expect a Steve Dangle video tomorrow of him. I just know that's how Dangle rolls, but especially after wins like that.
Dude, eight goals scored. And Matthews and Marlowe both with a single assist. That says a lot.
Yeah, no, I obviously know a lot of people around Toronto, and they are loving that team right now, and I think they're going to be pretty dang good this year because they got a lot of offense on that team. Let's see what else is going on.
Hey, Pittsburgh won a game after getting the crap kicked out of them.
Oh man, that beatdown that got delivered.
That was epic.
10-1 by the Blackhawks.
So epic.
That was ugly.
Well, you know what? And can we just for a second just talk about just like in the first 3 days of hockey or first 4 days, just like how many times have you seen it where within like 48 hours you saw 4 hat tricks? I mean, you had Connor McDavid, you had Brandon Saad, you had Ovechkin. And God, I know I'm missing somebody. Oh, Wayne's hello. Yeah, Wednesday night against the Sharks. So, I mean, geez, man. I mean, hat tricks all over this place.
Everybody's scoring but the Sharks.
Pretty much.
Sounds like my college years.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget, we gave some kid his first NHL career goal tonight, which is very Sharks.
That's so Sharks.
Actually, well, no, we ended up not doing that, but I was like, did they
change it?
Yeah, it got changed to the Raccoon.
Never mind.
I believe the Raccoon got his goal. But
and even tonight,
like when they said, "Oh, it's a first NHL goal," like the sound in Randy's voices was like, "Yep," and there's another one.
There we go.
Well, dude, and even Evander Kane and Jonathan Tavares both came like this close to getting hat tricks. I mean, it's been insane so far the first 4 days of hockey.
Well, I mean, and the Sharks collectively have scored 3 goals total.
Woohoo!
And that's yeah. Like I said, everyone's scoring but the Sharks right now.
Hold on, shit. Ovi has 2 hat tricks in back-to-back games?
Yep. Yeah, he has 7 goals in 2 games.
Okay, remember when I said earlier that I thought he would be traded this season? I still think it's going to happen, but now I think it's going to be for a lot more money.
Yeah, no, you're still wrong. about that one. So Avalanche get whooped by the Devils. Not that anyone cares about either of those teams. Not really interesting. Detroit over Ottawa 2-1. What?
I was gonna say it should be of interest. There's an ex San Jose Shark on New Jersey Devils. 2 of them now. Actually, no, just 1.
Yeah.
I mean, TJ Brody coming away from a goal from a hat trick. I mean, just wow.
Yeah.
Oy.
Tampa Bay loses to Florida. Yay, that's super interesting. Islanders lose to Buffalo, or beat Buffalo. Sorry. Don't worry, Sabres. You're playing us in a few, in 5 days. We'll get that one right back.
Are there any guys on their roster that have yet to score their first NHL goal?
I'm sure every season there is.
I don't even think it matters. Like they could have no one on the roster. They come in here and beat the Sharks.
But wasn't that the line that somebody said at one point on Teal Town last season, where it was just kind of like, oh, you're going through a slump. Oh, and the Sharks are next on your schedule. Nobody can cure your ills like the Sharks.
Yeah, especially if we're playing your backup goalie.
Yeah.
Play your backup goalie and a bunch of guys who've never scored in the NHL.
But yeah, that's a recipe for disaster for San Jose.
Can't take it.
Yeah, so we got Pittsburgh whooping on Nashville, I guess taking out some of that anger after the Hawks beat the crap out of them. Matt Murray had a better game. I wonder if Niemi ever sees the starting lineup again after.
I hope not. I hope they send him to
maybe if they play Colorado.
Where's the Pens AHL team? Scranton, Wilkes-Barre?
I don't know. Gen X probably knows, or Zach would probably be the one to know that one.
No, that's one that Puck guy might actually know.
Yeah. He's probably headed to wherever their AHL club is.
Washington lights up Montreal.
And James Abel saying Niemi will get the start against San Jose when we play the Penguins.
Oh gosh, I hope so. Maybe we actually have a chance against them.
Dude, that's a good one. Jay Clark saying it's Scranton.
Okay.
Well, good knowledge. You win a gold star.
Chester Chivo, yes, Scranton. Watch The Office, people.
Okay.
And now Gen X saying Wilkes-Barre.
It's Wilkes-Barre or Scranton, but I guess they're the same. Okay.
Yeah, Puck guy's saying it's the same thing. Okay, whatever. It's like saying
no
one
cares.
Yeah, San Jose, Oakland. Sure.
I'm going Gary Radnich on you here. No one cares. So Washington kicks crap out of Montreal. He said Alex Ovechkin with a hat trick. Carolina over Minnesota in the shootout. Minnesota not looking great so far. Dallas loses again. Yay to St. Louis. Boo. Blue Jackets get lit up by Chicago 5-1. It said Vegas beats Arizona. And Vancouver beats the Edmonton McDavids.
Yeah,
dude, that was I gotta admit, whoever came up with it on Twitter the other day was that was pretty great. Where it was just like, in quotes, it was like, Edmonton is not all about only McDavid, and then there's a screenshot of it where it was like McDavid's hat trick, and that's how they won 3-0. I thought that.
I mean, they are deeper than that, but everything there begins and ends with McDavid. That's just the reality. Just as everything with Washington begins and ends with Alex Ovechkin. That's perfectly fine.
He's winning. They're already engraving his name on like 2 trophies already.
Yep. Well, Calgary beats Winnipeg 6-3, so that was probably a fun one to watch.
Yager didn't play tonight. He's not in game shape yet.
Philadelphia over Anaheim in OT, so I guess it's good. The Ducks kind of lose. They get a loser point. And then some losers in some place called SJ lose to the people in Lawland 4-1.
Yeah. Dude, if I could go to Vegas and bet on it, I'd already bet that McDavid wins the Richard and the Ross this year.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna be all over those trophies by the time.
Dude, it would be funny. It's like I want to put together a meme that says Gretzky like the one or whatever, and then Sidney Crosby the next one. And then put McDavid and said the real next one. But it's only because Crosby definitely has the trophy case to back it up, but still, I hate that guy.
as much as I want to dump on him, he has won a lot and done a lot of things. So
He's got the trophy case to back it up, man.
yeah.
Well, you know who else? You know who else claimed that same sort of distinction for a long time was Lance Armstrong. So tomorrow you might discover something that'll change your opinion of him today.
Are you promising something, Rocky?
No.
Do you know something? Oh, darn. I was hoping I need a little good news right now, because right now it's like crap. Oh, yeah.
Rocket was like, bitch, I moved to Nashville, not Pittsburgh, mothers.
Can you move there? I hear it's pretty cheap there, actually.
Oh,
I've been told. It's because no one wants to live there.
You know what? You're not going to have to change the color of your new wardrobe. It's still going to be gold and black.
No, this one is gold and navy.
Oh, that's true. Okay, my bad. Gold and navy.
Well, I mean, if you guys remember that interview did Link like 2 years ago when we were playing Nashville, I guess he said that the front office for Nashville is super particular about you calling their colors the right thing. I forget what they are, but they are really particular about that. Like they will, like if someone writes in an article and uses the wrong color name or whatever, they will their front office will contact them and say, "Hey, WTF."
And the word Nashville has to be no smaller than 50% the size of the word Predators.
Really now? I didn't know that, but it sounds like they're very particular about their style guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. As much as the game sucked tonight, this was like the coolest thing. This was Willy Wonka's chocolate factory tonight.
How many fish were floating upside down in the tank?
None, but there did seem to be a lot less sharks than I remember a couple weeks ago.
Interesting.
Laurel in the chat. Kerr's quoting Couture. That was just garbage hockey from us tonight.
And you know what?
I mean, at least he's calling it what it is, because that was a dumpster fire. Kerr's
you know what though?
For the Athletic now, so if you want to see anything else, you have to pony up.
Kudos to Couture for actually calling what it was instead of like offering like, well, we tried to do this and it didn't work for. No, he like came out and said, it was crap tonight. Like I'm saying, obviously I'm not in the dressing room with him, but it wouldn't surprise me if he would have been like, and we need to apologize to the fans tonight for this one because holy crap, was it a shit show? And it absolutely was. I mean, the lines weren't that different from Wednesday night. But again, I go back to there are some guys, Joel Ward, Thornton, I mean, older guys that it's just like, you know what? It's time for you to understand that you're not going to see as many minutes as LeBanc or Meyer or Carlson because these guys are working their tails off, and everybody on this team, nobody can just like throw their jersey out there or throw out their stat sheet from the last 10, 12 years and think that that's going to get you more ice time. You've got to go out there and earn it every night. And tonight there was barely anybody who earned it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, with some of those guys, it's less about earning it. It's just more just like they need to be played less because, there's a certain amount of effectiveness you're going to get, and you're going to get diminishing returns. You're going to wear them out early. Like, let the young guys, like, if only to keep Thornton and Pavelski fresh in case maybe you do make the playoffs. Because if you're trying Thornton out there 18 minutes a night, that is no good. I didn't see what the ice time. I didn't look at it very carefully from the last game, but I'm pretty sure he was out there quite a bit as well. And it's not like they had that much power play time. They had a decent amount, but nothing all that crazy. And good old Gen X saying some things I'm not going to repeat on air because
he will not stand for it.
Will not stand, man. This aggression will not stand, man.
This will. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's about it. Maybe we need to focus on. Here's the funny thing: is the Sharks. It's so funny how uber compressed last season was because of the World Cup, and now you've got the Sharks playing 3 games over 11 days or whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous. You've never seen this before. So the Sharks get the next 5 days to like work out their special teams, work on some chemistry, get something together for when the Sabres come to town on Thursday. I mean, get it together, guys. This is, here's the, and it makes you wonder too. Like, remember, who's the cat who went to Florida? Buchner,
Bob Bugner.
Bugner, yeah. So Boogie, that's what we call him. We call him Boogie. Boogie went to Florida, and we ended up bringing in Zettler and Dave Barr. Dave Barr was supposed to be the eye in the sky to help us work on special teams, particularly the power play. Well, it's not working so good so far, Mr. Barr. Just letting you know, bro. So,
Yeah, I mean, and again,
pick up the slack, Jack.
We should always put this caveat here that it's 2 games. You know, maybe they start getting it right, starting with Buffalo. Well, actually, no, after Buffalo, because we know it's the universe. They could do everything right versus Buffalo, and the universe is like, nope.
Yeah, so there's something between the Sharks and Buffalo. I don't know what it is, if it's cosmic or it's just
there was
weird.
A game either last year or the year before where I thought they played extremely well versus Buffalo, but they still lost And I remember at one point, like, there was a play where it was like a completely fluky goal by Buffalo, and my tweet right after that was like, "Oh, if you're upset about this, wait till you see the overturned goal." And the Sharks score a goal, and it's overturned.
Well, and we're also talking about the team that like literally had 3 players covering Thornton on a play.
Yeah, and Buffalo hasn't always earned their victories. I just think there's some cosmic thing going on here where it's like the Sharks. It's like the laws of physics or something like that. They can't beat Buffalo more than once a decade or something. I don't know, but that's on Thursday. Hopefully they at least come a little better, because I didn't think the effort was bad against Philadelphia. I thought it was sloppy, and tonight it was completely out of sync.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think it's even necessarily effort, though. Part of me, it does occur to me, maybe DeBoer is starting to lose the locker room. Maybe that's part of it. Is maybe the locker room might also be seeing that his decision making right now is very, very lackluster. It's not there. So I don't know. It's something to keep an eye on. And like I said, it's only 2 games.
I know it's only 2 games, but even you look at the 1 goal the Sharks got. Well, even that was sloppy. That was a garbage goal.
I thought that was a nice deflection there. That was,
that was Bodker cleaning up some garbage.
Yeah. And you need goals like that.
No, I'm saying you need goals like that, but like that's all we like. Even we only got 1 goal tonight, and that's what it was. And it's kind of like you're gonna have those games where you have to have garbage goals, and it was like, really, that's the best you could do tonight. So
yeah, I mean, they weren't creating much in the way of opportunities. I mean, I have no problem with that 1 goal. That was like the only good play Bodker made all night when he wasn't giving away the puck at our own blue line constantly. I mean, Bodker was an utter tire fire out there. I mean, he's not like Scott Hannon level tire fire. His play was not very because I had someone like
Scott Hannon,
I had someone
25
yakking at me
minutes
on
a
Twitter, saying like, "Oh, when you say that these guys are playing good, why aren't you including Bodker?" It's like, well, honestly, other than that 1 play, his play was bad. Good for you. You were right 1 time.
For a guy who couldn't come on because he had to work and shit, Puck Guy really is talking a lot of shit in the chat. But anyway, I look forward. I'm just fucking with him. You know what? I'm looking forward to Burns having a hell of a bounce back game. I mean, after going a -4 and knowing that he, coughed it up for that second, basically what ended up being the go-ahead goal tonight. I look for a big bounce-back game tonight from Bodker. Hey, look, I got my lower third to work. How cool is that? So I look forward to that. And, that's it. And if you want to hear about how my night, it's that, what is it? 1 night in heaven kind of thing, where it's like the one night where I was the 1 night where I was allowed access to the BMW lounge and glass seats. You can look forward to my article, or actually, you know what? I'm not going to do an article. We'll talk about it on the Pucknologist next week, so that'll give you something to look forward to listening to that for.
Hashtag celebrity fan. So we'll take that as your final thoughts. Rocket, your final thoughts for the night.
Well, but AJ underscoring on Twitter and on Instagram. Okay, final thoughts done.
AJ's like, I'm not done talking yet. Okay.
Well, I just wanted to get where everybody could follow me.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little rusty here. Come on, it's early.
It's fine. Hi everyone, my name is Rocket Backhander. You can find me on Twitter, tweeting about the Sharks, the Barracuda, life in Nashville, and general musings in Teal. I don't drink too much, but when I do, it's generally margaritas that are the same color as this flag right here. You can find me on Twitter, capital R, capital B, little Ackhander76, or over on the Instagram, taking photographs of everything I see around me here in Nashville from the Teal tinted point of view. That is one word, Rocket Backhander on Instagram. Chris?
Thank you. And I don't think I need to give many more thoughts because I've made my feelings on this game very, very clear and what I think needs to change. So we'll see. And I keep saying it's only 2 games. I hope that mantra proves true. Please, that would be nice. But I don't have a fancy lower third because honestly, well, I just didn't take the time to figure that one out. So you can follow me on the Twitter at ChrisJWS. I could maybe write a little thing and spell for you, but it's very easy to understand. ChrisJWS. Other than that, follow Teal Town USA on Twitter as well. I mean, really just follow all of us on Twitter. We're all in the description too. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button.
And hey, tell a friend on Twitter because we're slowly growing and we want to hit 2,000 likes before Halloween.
Yep. Do so. Or you mean 2,000 followers?
Yes. Yes, 2,000. I'm sorry.
Yep. So also be sure to check out the other video content we have here because we have all kinds of interviews and there's more to come. There's a lot of our offline content besides our live shows here. And of course, the live show after every single post game. You can find that on iTunes as well. If you need audio only and something to listen to at work, you can listen to us talk about how bad this game was on audio only as well.
And actually, can I pimp something real quick?
Do it.
You may.
Just in the next 2 weeks, follow Teal Town USA on the Twitter machine, Instagram, SoundCloud, iTunes, whatever, and especially YouTube. We do have 2 interviews coming up in the next 2 weeks with Executive Vice President Flavel Hampstead and Sharks COO John Totora. So those are coming up in the course of the next 2 weeks. Confirmed them tonight and confirmed, I'm just going to confirm it already, that you will hear from myself, Rocket Backhander, and Hockey Jerk this week for the first episode of the Pucknologist this season.
The premiere episode of the Pucknologist, if you will. So I think we pimped everything at this point, and there will be more things that we can't announce yet, but it is coming up. So stay tuned, check it out, watch our Twitter because we'll post all that lovely stuff. With that, I'd like to wish you a great night because otherwise it's not very good because of hockey. But hey, maybe you can have a good night anyways. It's Saturday night. Go out and have some fun. Good night, everybody.